A lot of places will hire you and keep you where you're at. I don't know if I'm the problem, but I don't think I'm the problem. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name's Calandra and I'm back with another video. So before I continue, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Or you whack.
You know what? She's just whack.
You just whack, because like, why would you just sit through this whole video and not subscribe? I just want to talk about why 9-to-5 jobs give me the ick. Like, the ick. Okay. I mean, if you watch TikTok, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But 9-to-5 jobs are just so ghetto. And I want to just vent about it because, I don't know, I can never be with a job past a year. And, you know, there are people that work for companies for 15 plus years, 3+ years. I just don't see what place will do that for me. And I just want to talk about that. And I just want to vent, like, what I don't like about 9-to-5s and why I don't want to work a 9-to-5. Like, I will work a 9-to-5 if that's my only option. But this is why I am so quick to quit a job. And I can even make a whole series talking about all the places I worked at and why they were all trash. Except for like one place. Like, it was only one place that I liked. And if y'all watch my channel, you know, I made plenty of videos about working at an adult store, and that was literally the only job that I liked. And even then, I started not liking that place. So I don't know if I'm the problem, but I don't think I'm the problem. I just see through a lot of shit. Maybe I'm very sensitive. I don't know. But here is what I don't like about 9-to-5 jobs. I'm not telling you to go quit your job. I'm not telling you to not work, because what type of sense does that make when we have to survive, we have to pay our bills, I'm like, as a somewhat responsible adult, I'm not going to fucking tell my subscribers not to work if that's their only option. Okay, if you have an option to quit your job for a better job, or quit your job to become an entrepreneur, or quit your job to travel full-time, or whatever the hell you want to do, then do it. But if you don't have the resources, the time, the money, the investment to do nothing, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job. However, if you hate that job and you know that job is giving you hell, and you know they're not paying you what you're worth, whatever it is that you're worth, then by all means, go look for something else at least. Like, go find something better. Okay, go apply to another job. I don't care how long it takes you, but if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. Okay, so yeah, I'm done clarifying that part, but let me get into why I don't like 9-to-5 jobs. Like, what is my issues with 9-to-5s, which, I mean, a lot of people would say the same thing, but are too afraid to say it. But let me just give y'all my perspective. The main, like, factor as to why I quit, like, so many jobs is that they will just keep you where you started at, especially if they don't like you enough. Like, you're just there to do your work and come home, you know, you get treated like you're just, I don't even know, I can't even say you get treated like a person. You're just treated like a fucking body, like, basically. And what I mean is, like, especially at this day and age, especially me getting older and realizing, like, a lot of things are not really doing anything for me. They're not benefiting my livelihood in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? And once you get older, you learn how to set your intentions on what you put your energy into. Like, I know, like, I'm not really good at explaining things, but for me, a lot of times they are just placeholders, you know, very temporary. And that's fine. Like, most jobs are temporary, but I mean really temporary. I don't see no type of growth. I don't see no type of longevity. And I came across this video on TikTok, and I have to like go through my liked videos because I don't remember shit. But basically, she was like, when you're in an interview, these are very important questions to ask. And I never thought to ask these questions, and I never thought, like, you know, it would be appropriate to ask these questions. Not really appropriate, but you know, the interviewer look at you some type of way or feel some type of way about you for asking these questions. That gave me a huge perspective of what I've been missing when applying for a job. Does the job have a high turnover rate? Of course, like, the way I'm wording it is not how you should ask it. Like I said, I don't really remember exactly how she worded it, but she did use this word, like high turnover rate. And that is something that you should be attentive to when you're applying for a job, because a lot of these jobs, you know, are very particular about what they want, who they want, you know, how you act, you know, how you do the job and everything like that, and are going to be quick to lay you off and let you go if you don't meet the requirements in a short amount of time. Like, don't really even give you the time to learn. That's a huge problem, and a problem I faced with some places I worked at, especially fast food. It is a lot to just remember everything off the menu and do everything at such a fast pace and know how to do everything properly, especially when food is in the factor and that's people's health, you know, that's on the line, which is why I would never wear fast food. But that's just an example of like places that are like that are going to be very quick to either get on board or you get lost type of thing. And I feel like with a job, it should take at least 2.5, maybe 3 weeks to learn. Everybody has a different pace to learn things. And me, I'm not like really a visual learner. I'm a, what type of learner? I'm like the type, I don't know the word, but like, I'm like the type of person who learns from doing things repetitively. You know, I'm not going to remember everything off of just being shown how to do it just once. I have to fucking do it and then get used to it and then remember. And then sometimes, like, with that, you know, mistakes happen. And that's another question she said to ask. How would the workplace respond to people who make errors? Like, are they going to belittle you for making a simple error? You know, are they going to make you feel like you're less of yourself? Because a lot of places are a lot of managers are really, really harsh when it comes to workplace errors. We're human beings. We're not all perfect. And I understand if I'm constantly fucking up and I'm constantly, you know, not taking my job seriously. I get it. When I'm first when I first start and I make a couple of mistakes, or even when I've been there for a while and let's say my head is just not in it today, you know, and I just happen to make one little mistake here and there, you know, that's completely normal, honestly. And it happens, like, even at my last couple of jobs, like, you know, people that been at jobs for years make mistakes. And I don't feel like that's a bad thing because it happens. And a lot of workplaces, whether it's certain coworkers or a manager, will like treat it like it's the end of the world when an error happens. So that really opened my perspective on how I should be treated in the workplace and why, you know, a lot of times in the workplace, you know, I just wasn't happy or comfortable or felt like I was treated how I was supposed to be treated. And I just remembered that this one question she said to ask was kind of piggybacking off of the point that I was about to make. But she was basically like something of the sense like how often do people move up in the workplace and how does that process go? And that is something that is the main reason why I quit so many jobs, because a lot of places will hire you and keep you where you're at.
I have a bag, a nice bag, and this, a movie ticket. Thank you very much. And I also got a bag of Reese's. This is very nice. From Starbucks. Thank you guys. And it's like a lanyard, 2 pins, and a couple of keys, chains, and lifesavers.
And let me elaborate real quick. This video went viral, I think, a year ago, and everybody may have their own opinion, but this is my opinion. I don't know. It probably was more that went into it. He probably has, gotten a raise or something. I don't know. But first of all, let me just say, a goodie bag after working for a company for 27 years is like a pat on the back. That pat on the back ain't gonna do nothing for that man's livelihood, ain't paying no bills, ain't doing nothing for him. It's just like, oh yeah, you worked hard, good job. Like, after 27 years of working for this company, that goodie bag won't even good. Like, okay, I'm not saying he can't be thankful, because he was very appreciative, and it's the thought that counts. But at the end of the day, y'all gave a grown-ass man some candy and a movie ticket and some pens. Like, all the money that Burger King makes, whoever is above him in the workplace can't think of something more creative or something more acceptable to a grown man, like something better, like a little bit more extravagant. Like, you could have gave that man at least a bottle of wine or something, or some new clothes, like a new shirt or some pajamas or something, a ticket to a concert, something. But he got a movie ticket and some a little bit of pieces of candy, not even like a whole package of M&Ms or something, and some pens, something a little kid would think of. Like, that's not even as good as what a little kid would get for a goodie bag. And I could understand if he'd been with the company for maybe 5 months, a year, but 27 years, that's all y'all could think about to say thank you, without promoting him, without a raise, even a bonus. Like, I don't know, maybe some companies do get like an automatic bonus, because I work for a job where people would get a bonus after working for like a certain amount of years. And I don't know about all of that. But if that was the case and nothing else came out of it, that is trash. Like, that is completely unacceptable, in my personal opinion. Like, are you only getting paid more because the state's wage has to go up? Or do you get rewarded a raise for all your hard work? For 9 to 5s, you have to go above and beyond and make the certain connections with people. If I don't suck my manager's toes, I'm not going to be moved up. I'm not going to get paid more. I'm not going to be appreciated. At jobs I worked at, it felt like it was no win for losing. Like, certain managers didn't like me, and they just constantly nitpicked everything I did, even though I always do what I'm supposed to do. I wasn't free to speak my mind about certain things. Like, anytime I felt like something, that I felt uncomfortable or didn't like the way I was being treated about something, they didn't care. They were just like, well, that's just how we do it. If you don't like it, you can leave. Everywhere I worked at, like, nobody gave a damn about how I felt. There are certain managers that actually care about the people that are working for them, and they actually treat their employees like people. And that is a very rare occasion. Like, for all the 20 plus jobs I worked at, maybe 2 jobs that where the manager treated me like a human being. And that is sad. Like, that is absolutely just sad, honestly. Like, it's very depressing. And like, it's a red flag to me when I work somewhere and there is no guarantee, like, not even a guarantee, but where people will literally work in the same position for so many years and not get paid anymore, not get moved up in the company, because you have to pay your bills and you have kids and you have so many other things to take care of. But what are you getting in return? I just can't see myself being at a company for so many years and not getting paid anymore. Because as I work for a company, let's say if I start a job at the age of 18, what may be a good money for me at the age of 18 is not going to be the same for me being 27. And I'm 27 right now. So, okay, if I'm working somewhere making $8 an hour, that is cool for me to be afloat at the age of 18. That $8 an hour is not going to do shit for me at 27. You know, as I get older, things change. I may have children. I get married. I want to have a car, a nice car, not just something to get me from here and there. You know, got rent, got other bills to pay. You know, as I get older, that money is not going to be the same. So why should I work somewhere that's going to keep me complacent? And I'm a huge advocate on not being complacent in life. Like, I feel like a lot, even in my personal life, like I do a lot of things that set me back instead of moving upwards. And I'm all for, you know, if you have been with a company for so long and you're not getting appreciated for all the hard work that you put in, just because you don't happen to suck your manager's toes, like, you're working for this company for so long and there's nothing to show for it, by all means, you need to find something else. And I'm just keeping it 100. I have not worked one job where I got a raise, promotion, or anything. For my work ethic, that's a problem. This topic right here, this point right here is also probably neck and neck for what I just said. Work-life balance is very important, and you know, all this talking is making me thirsty, so I just want to drink some water. Don't be mad at me, but I've ignored, you know, this very important value for a very long time. When I first started working a 9-to-5, I had no expectations of boundaries, and that showed in so many aspects of my life, my friendships, my relationships. Well, except for when I turned 19, you know, I was in a, you know, I'm still with the person that I was in a relationship at 19. So, like, even my boundaries with relationships has kind of changed. But, you know, at the age of 19, I wasn't very good on setting boundaries and expectations for how I wanted people to treat me or how I wanted my life to go. I was just kind of living. Like, all I knew is I wanted to make money. I wanted a nice big check. You know, I wanted to buy new clothes and all of that. But didn't really care too much or didn't really think too much about work-life balance. Like, am I going to be able to take vacations? Am I going to be able to? And that's also what she mentioned in that video. Like, always ask, like, how did they do with work-life balance? Or this is what she said specifically, kind of specifically. I remember this one. So she said to ask the person that is interviewing you, do your employees or anybody in this job have obligations outside of work? A lot of my past jobs, none of my managers ever took any obligations I had outside of work seriously, or anytime I asked to change my schedule, you know, something that suits me a little bit more, my requests were always denied for some odd reason. And sometimes it was really petty just because the manager did not like me. And it literally did happen when I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. There was this bitch that this manager did not like me, and I don't know why, okay? But basically, my friend at the time, you know, she asked her, could she, you know, get her schedule rearranged to fit her, you know, her personal life or whatever. And she's like, you know, if you're not happy with your schedule, just ask her. So I did, okay? And she was just like, no. And it's just like, why did this bitch not like me? And this is literally how I was treated at a lot of my jobs. They didn't like me or whatever reason. You know, my requests to be off on certain days were ignored, not fulfilled, or just be told blatantly no. And that was not the only job that did that to me. Like, I would submit requests off way ahead of time for certain days and not get the request fulfilled because, like, the manager did not give a fuck about my personal life or me having some sort of work-life balance. And I feel like that is so fucked up, and I would never settle for that shit ever the fuck again. Because at the age of 18, I was just willing to work as much as I could just to make that money, okay? but neglecting my mental, my physical health, all of the other stuff I mentioned. I'm not repeating myself. But now that I'm older, it's like I have more expectations on how I want my life. And I do YouTube. Like, this channel is really important to me. I don't care that I'm not making money off of YouTube right now. This channel is a clutch for me to express myself in any way possible. It's very important for me to have time off to put content out on the internet. I model. Like, I'm not in an agency right now, but sometimes I literally do get paid to model. And even if I don't, like, the content is very important to me. Like, it's a way of art for me. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not in any way able to have time to do anything that helps me express my creativity, and I also paint, and I haven't painted in a long time. So if I'm not able to do that, if I'm not able to go on vacations, because I do like to travel, if I'm not able to spend time with my husband or my cat, even call up my family and go home to Virginia sometimes, that's a problem. That's a huge, major problem. And that's why I pretty much quit my last job. The way they made my schedule at my last job, the one I just quit, was so freaking weird. They would schedule me literally 6 days in a row, 5 days in a row. I never had a weekend off. It wasn't until the 3rd month in, when they started cutting hours for whatever reason, when I was starting to kind of get them off. And it was just terrible. Like, I hated it. I hated it so much because I would work hours like 10:30 to 6:30 p.m. And how am I supposed to do things within that time period when most businesses be operating from them same time periods? How am I able to get things with my car fixed? How am I able to run errands? And the only thing I would have time to do was probably grocery shop, barely make it to the gym. And then sometimes when I would request certain days off, I wasn't able to receive them because, of course, somebody else requested it off, which is normal. But one time that happened to me because, like, maybe one other person requested the same day off. I don't know. And I think it was on a weekend. And then another time, I don't even know why it happened, because both times I gave plenty of notice. I gave the perfect 2 weeks in advance, and they scheduled me anyway. And what I do is when I request a day off and I don't get it, bitch, I'm gonna call the fuck out. I didn't want to have to do it. I tried, talking to managers and stuff like that. And he even told me, just call out. So that's what I did. And that's what I did with other current jobs when I submitted a request off and it was denied or they didn't give it to me. Because who are you to tell me I can't have a vacation or I can't have a certain day off or a mental health break? You don't control my fucking life. You just control my schedule. Like, part of my work schedule that you shouldn't even have 100% control over, because it has to go with my personal life. It has to attend my needs. And that's something these managers do not give a damn about. And I'm sick of it. And I refuse to work at another place that ignores my requests, with simple requests, especially due to favoritism and all types of other stuff. How does Sally be able to get Sundays off, but I can't get a Friday off on every other week? Kiss my motherfucking ass. I'm tired of it. It was literally only one place that gave me a perfect, no, I'm not gonna say one. It was 2 jobs that actually gave me a great work-life balance. And that was Deja Vu Love Boutique, the adult store I worked for. They were very great on making my schedule. However, one manager, she's a little petty. I love her though, but she is a little petty. She's like, oh, if you request a lot of days off, you just gonna get 3 days a week. You ain't gonna work since you don't want to work. But, she's funny as hell, but like, yeah, she'll do stuff like that sometimes. Or even Ross. Like, I worked for Ross. Ross was not a good company to work for, but they were overall pretty good with scheduling. I never had an issue on being off on certain days, at least that I remember. But out of all the 20-something jobs I had, maybe even 30-something jobs I had, those were the only 2 fucking jobs I feel like actually gave me a certain work-life balance. And that's not something I'm going to settle for anymore. And taking care of yourself is very serious, okay? You know, if you have a certain health problem or something and you need to visit the doctor, you know, you have problems with your mental health, you know, it is very important that your workplace actually cares about that, because like these managers don't know what you got going on personally, and they act like, oh, well, you know, this is your job has to come before anything. And then not to mention like the fucking phone calls to come into work when I'm off. Like, I just think it's very unnecessary to do that. Like, if you're good at scheduling, you're not going to do that. I understand people call out, and it is a good opportunity to come into work if you don't have anything to do. But I feel like that shouldn't be an expectation for the workplace for you to just come in on your day off. Because what if I'm like literally in the middle of doing something, traveling an hour away, or have something going on that day? Because everybody has a personal life, and including these managers, and they know that. So I don't want to hear it. These fucking jobs act like you're supposed to be a yes man, people pleasing ass bitch, and I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my off days. I'm not going to come into work unless I feel like I really need to. And I want to be off when I want to be off. I want to get off when I need to get off. You know, a lot of these places will keep you longer than what you have to be. And it is illegal in the state of California. If you have a job with no overtime, then you need to get off when the fuck you need to get off. However, one thing I do like about the law is if you are overtime, they still have to pay you for it, but these jobs don't want to do that. I just don't like the whole, like, I just don't get how a lot of these places treat you like a fucking robot. Like, that's the whole thing when it comes down to it. It's like, especially when I'm literally communicating my needs, like, hey, I need to get off a little early because I have something going on. You know, people have shit happening, like people's cars break down, death happens, sickness happens, things happen in people's lives, and it's just like, damn, why can't y'all let people take care of stuff? Why is it a problem? Like, why do workplaces get mad when you just can't go? You know what I'm saying? And then when people get overwhelmed, you know, want to request off or whatever, they get mad because you request off and don't want to give you those off days. Or if you call out when you don't call out very often, like they get upset, want to fire you, treat you different. And I don't know, bro. It's just irritating. And when it comes to work-life balance, I just wish I just want more jobs to cater to that and not treat me like I'm just supposed to let y'all control every aspect of my life. My job is just not my end game. And that's the thing, like a lot of people, they treat these jobs like, and that's what I'm gonna get into like a little, like right after this point. Like these people, they treat their jobs like it's like their end game. Like, oh, I wanna be here for 40 plus years and make it to manager. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not the end game for me. I have so many other things that I want to fulfill in my life and do in my life, and I'm not just gonna settle for a 9 to 5 and treat it like it's just my all, my everything. No, absolutely the fuck not. Hey y'all, as much as I want to continue with this rant in this video, I'm gonna have to just put it into 2 parts because it's very, very long. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and I'm about to post part 2 like right after this, so I'll see you in my next video.